Is it worth it? Let me work it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it.
The price is wrong.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
Ooh, welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 343, and
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
I guess that's not the first. That's not the big one I want. There we go. It's time for.
Is it worth
There
it?
we go.
Let me work.
You got to hear the big voice of is. Although you're sick
There we
right
go.
now, you could be doing you know that Friends episode where Phoebe's voice is like all sexy because she's sick? That's kind of what your voice is tonight. It's like
Ooh.
sexy deep. Hey.
I could do that every night.
Tad, of course, jumps on and does his Ursus for life. I got to give you the wrong.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was
There you
scary.
go. I got buttons. All right. Real low. I believe this is sexy. So, yeah.
Chicka chicka. Ooh, ow, ow.
That's a good
what you
one.
should
Give
be
me
doing.
Chicka chicka. Bow, bow. Oh, that sounded really good.
That's
The
real-
bow, bow. Yeah, I like that. Something in my voice. Sorry. So,
You have quite the cold right now.
It's amazing what Snot can do. It's a demon voice, though.
That was.
looking for
I gotta give Tad this.
Get the fuck out.
Uh,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to do another button.
Get the fuck out. That's a baby one.
Yeah, the baby. Remember we first got the buttons for yours. We fucking that. I'm crying.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you, Runchai. That gives me an erection.
This is weird, especially with that
It
voice.
was a weird conversation. Yep. This is a magic podcast. Anybody out there?
So
Seeing
what?
spam and malort and sexy voices.
Yeah, it's like baby voices.
Baby.
What are we doing, Lowry, on this episode tonight?
Duskmourn came out. I just learned that name like when we were doing this. I was like, what the fuck is the name of this? All right, Duskmourn, new set coming out in like 2 weeks. We're going to the Precons, saying if they're worth it or not, telling you the good cards in it that are worth a couple bucks, and some of the newer cards we'll talk about as well. And then we also have
Renchai said he's so turned on right now.
yeah, see? Oh, now I'm all distracted.
Then we got
Stump the Smith Savant.
Stump the Smith Savant.
And then we also have a tournament going on right now that is
To get down to the semifinals is what the next
right.
is.
It's 6-2 in who has the most, but I have a feeling that it's basically equal after this.
We'll see.
Like I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm worried about this.
We'll see. So yeah, we'll get to that. So we got the tournament. So getting to the final four. Like you said, we got Stump the Smith Savant, which is RoboCop is our stumper this week. We did restart
All right.
because you did get stumped last week.
I
So RoboCop, I will let him choose since he got to draw. That's actually probably the way I'll do it from now on. Is if you are the week one person, you get to choose the proxy. So you can either do the foil Field of the Dead with the Wombo art or the art that I made this month. Olhran Frostfang right here. Also proxy right there, foil. Lotus Cobra, or well, actually, maybe do 2 more. The 3 Tree City, right there. All these proxies. I like this one a lot. Or any one of the Surveil lands. So we got the Surveil lands here. Any one of those.
Those are good too.
RoboCop, you can choose. Even if you don't stump Lowry this week, you will be the chooser of what the proxy stump or the prize will be, the round 1. Let's just get right to it because we want to try to get to the main topic right away with everything. So let me get to this. And I got to get the right stuff up here.
Go.
We are
Duskmourn.
It's time for
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it.
Cheers, Bill. Okay. So we have Duskmourn. We have the Precons. We are going to go through each one of these. And basically, we are taking the cards that are $10 or more that are reprints. All these are reprints that we're talking about. We have 3 cards out of each one of these. I'm doing this part just because I'm trying to save your voice a little bit, unless you want to do this a little
I'm all right
intro.
with that. No.
Okay.
I don't care.
We each chose 3 cards from each of these decks that are new cards that we like and think that they have potential either for price-wise or good card-wise. And then we also have the cards that are between $2 and $10 in this. And then we kind of take that all together and we both decide on each of these decks if we think it's worth it. Just kind of what we always kind of say in the beginning is if you want the deck, then it's worth it for you. Like if you don't have these cards or you just want the deck as the Precon, then it's worth it. Then you could stop watching right now, skip ahead to the next part of this segment, and there you go. But if you want to hear our opinions,
What are you doing? What are you doing?
well, you skip ahead, you go to the
Just go do some dishes and let this thing run. Maybe
that
pick
too.
up after your cat or dog.
So I'm
pay
not
attention
saying
to your child.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
go
know,
away
but
from
don't,
this, but
don't skip ahead.
Right. Well, you check and see which one maybe you like all 4 of them. And you're like, I don't know which one I want to get. This might help you decide which ones
see?
are the best value there. So,
Hashtag Team Force War.
oh
there
god,
we go.
now
Represent.
I have to jump over to that. You guys, I got the get the fuck out for Lowry. My guys that are doing the Urza. Here's the Lowry one
the fuck?
for Renshai there, and then this is for Kayak PNW JZ Kayak.
The fuck out!
Tad said he's trying to skip it. It's not working.
No.
All right, so our buttons
Yeah.
that we have is if we think it's worth it,
Baby, I'm worth it.
we hit that one. If we don't think it's worth it,
The price is wrong.
all right. And we're going to start with my commander deck that I broke down here. This is one
All right.
I actually might build, not necessarily this
Oh.
commander, but this is Death Toll. Currently, you can get this bad boy on TCG, probably even on Amazon for about the same price. I didn't check Amazon. I just went TCG, but it's $34. So this is pretty cheap. This is the
That is
normal-ish
cheap.
price for the decks. I guess they're supposed to be around, 40 is where we normally sit.
Yeah.
So this one's a little
40.
bit lower. Let's get to the actual breakdown of what is in this deck. We have 2 cards that are over $10, and actually they're $10 right on the money. The first one is Professor Onyx, which is from the Strixhaven. I didn't realize it was a $10 card, but it is. And the other one is Whip of Erebos. So those are my 2 cards that are at $10 a piece. Then there's about, let's see, 3. There's 12 total. Oh, I have it on there. 12 total cards that are between 2 and 10. But really the notables I want to talk about is Dryad Arbor is in this. God, I always say her name wrong every time. Is it Titiana? Whatever her name is. Nature's Force. Can you hit the button for me? The reading. Titania.
Sorry.
You can't even read.
Titania. Is that how you say her name?
She can't
You wanna try
even
again?
read.
I even was trying before we even did. Like when I wrote it, I was like, "How do I say it?" All it makes me want to do is stutter. Like
They have
Ti-
AI for this now.
Titania.
If we just type it in, it'll just say it wrong or right. It doesn't matter because that's the computer at that point.
So Nature's Force, Renin 7 is in this. Reanimate and Arachnogenesis. So those are the ones that are like, yeah, they're the notable ones. And there's 7
Is
others.
Renin 7 the 5-mana planeswalker?
It is the green one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So your total with the cards between 2 and 12 is $46, which brings you to a grand total of $66. So that's pretty good. I mean, but the thing is, and we're going to say this on every one of these decks, all these prices, like, because they're at that, they're going to drop. They're going to, they're going to take. To give you an idea, we did this with, it wasn't the last one. Was it Modern Horizons 3 was our last? No, it's Bloomborough. We did Bloomborough, but let me back it up to Modern Horizons 3. Those were more expensive. I buy listed a bunch of that stuff away, and the bulk stuff that we had priced at, let's say $5, I was only getting like $2 at most, so you cut the prices at least in half for some of this stuff. But currently, that's what the prices are.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the new cards. I mean, that's good on price. It's 66. It costs you 34.
Right.
Technically,
I mean, basically,
you're
the
away.
way I don't look at it as really getting the value. I get it. Another way I look at it, I do look at it as getting value, but another way to look at it is what you're spending your money on. And if you don't have to spend the money on Beast within it, a buck $50, $2, you're saving yourself money if you just have them laying around. So that also helps like, do you want to buy this deck or not when you have most of these cards,
Right.
or do you want to add a lot of the stuff to your collection? So
Yeah.
that's something that you personally have to
Decide.
balance
Yep.
if it's worth it for you.
And we've talked about this many times, especially recently. Part of buying sets, and we used to always buy the commander decks. Always. We just mentioned that a
Right.
couple weeks ago.
But they only came out once a year.
So now that they're every single set, it's like, okay, more bulk that I already have. Okay, how do I move this stuff? That's work to move it for me. I have a lot. Oh, good for me. Do I have that? I do.
Oh, good for you.
I have a lot
I'll
of
hit
this
it too.
stuff.
Oh, good for you.
So it becomes more work than going into decks. I have enough copies for it. Like you said, Beast Within I don't need 20 copies of that. So anyways,
Right.
All right, let's get to the new cards in this. Will this change your mind with stuff? So here's the one card. Well, I'll get to that first. We'll work our way left to right. There's one card in here. This is the commander I actually want to build. But one of the new cards is Into the Pit. It is 2 colors and a black enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library anytime in a black card. That's pretty sweet. And then you may cast spells from the top of your library by sacrificing a non-land permanent in addition to paying its other costs. So it's, in a way, it's a free sack outlet hoop you have to jump through. Because, I mean, you can't sack it and then not do anything. I think the way I'm reading it is, to cast that spell, part of its cost is sacrificing a creature or it's a non-land permanent. So anything that's not a land you can sacrifice, but you can't just be like, you have something that depends on, let's say, Grave Pact. Depends on your creatures dying. You can't just sacrifice that and go, well, I'm not casting anything off the top. I think you actually have to cast it. It's part of the spell's cost.
Yeah, it's
to
part of the
sacrifice it.
cast.
But in a way, that's a free spell, or not free spell, a free sack outlet. So
Yes.
you're able to do that
Yeah.
with a little bit of a hoop, which is a benefit because you get to cast
I
spells
think
off
that's
the
a
top.
really cool card, though.
Yeah. So for 3 and in black, you've seen this in blue, you've seen this in green. I don't remember if there's anything with black that has that, but I really like that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So and it's card advantage, in a way you're being able to play that. So, so like
Especially if you're in a deck that's going to make a ton of tokens, then you can just sacrifice those tokens and gain more tokens, probably.
Well, and this is what I say is this goes in any sacrifice deck where
For sure.
that's the whole point of the deck.
For
This will go in my Braids deck potentially because it is non-land, so that's how Braids works. Well, actually, you can sacrifice land in that one, but anyways. All right, so then we have Rend Maw Creaky Nest. Really quick, I thought we had a new Scarecrow Lord, but no, we don't. It is a Scarecrow, but 3 colors, a black and a green. It's just a Scarecrow, legendary artifact creature, menace reach, 5/5. When it enters and whenever you play a card that has 2 or more card types, so like, where we go, the next card we talk about is an enchantment creature. This would work there. So anytime you cast something like that, or when this enters, you create a 2/2 tapped black bird creature token with flying, that token or the tokens are goaded for the rest of the game. So every
each player gets one of those.
Every player gets a 2/2 Blackbird token with flying that's goaded, including yourself. And basically, they don't hurt you until you're the last 2 players going against you or going against each other. Otherwise, these are just constantly you're making 2/2s that are out in play, and you can. I think this would be kind of fun to build around. I mean, in a 2 type, what is it called?
It's kind of cool, yeah.
Two card type deck. I think this one would be kind of fun to play with.
I mean, you got mostly artifact creatures and enchantment creatures. And then does it have to be a creature? A card.
No,
so
a
you have the
card.
artifact enchantments from Theros block that can kind of work out there too. But that's kind of mostly it. That's gonna help you.
So like Urza's Saga would work here pretty good.
No.
It doesn't say cast, it says play.
Oh, it does say play, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
All right. That would work. You're right.
Get the fuck out. All right, and then the last card I want to talk about is Demolisher's Spawn. This is quite the high CMC, but it is 5 and 2 green for a 7/7 trample with haste. And then whenever it attacks, if there are 4 more card types and among cards in your graveyard, other attacking creatures get 4/4 until end of turn. I don't think it's going to be an expensive card. I just thought it was kind of a cool card to have in there, especially this guy has haste on it too. So it's not going to...
Yeah.
If you don't want to play Crater Hoof all the time and Crater Hoof's the way you win, this is just another way. Oh, what I wanted to add is if you have a way of doing multiple attacks, every time you attack with this guy, all your other creatures get 4/4. So you attack with him, you get a second attack phase.
Yeah.
They get 4/4. They get a 4/4. So if you're able to put it in a deck that has multiple attacks like that, I think this thing's perfect in that. It kind of works. What is that one from? Is it Primitive? That enchantment that doubles the power and toughness of your creatures on every attack step. What is that one? Is it Primitive?
It's like 4 green and a colorless.
Yeah.
Primal something or
Oh
other.
yeah, Primal. Yeah. So I think that one does a similar thing because I have that in my Ansrag deck, so that every attack, every multiple attack gets bigger and bigger. So,
Okay.
But yeah, okay. All that being said, Lowry, we had the total of $66 of value of reprinted cards.
Do we want to be talking about the face commander at all or nah?
I have it in my next one.
You kind of. Oh, I didn't. Okay. I probably would have wanted to, but.
Oh, okay.
For me, the new cards aren't doing anything for me in this.
So is it worth
Let me work it.
And also with the price, it kind of tells me that there's not a lot of hype behind it. Not saying that it's a bad deck or a good deck, but it means that there's probably nothing that's really up there. Like, we have a lot of different versions of Demolisher Spawn. It's the same effect that you can kind of get, and like I've played that out in Crater Hoof. Like, I personally don't need anything more than that. I do like Renmaw and I do like Into the Pit, but probably Into the Pit the most. Like, for me, is it worth it or not? Probably not.
The
I'd
price
say
is
no.
wrong.
Yeah, I think with this one, and that's going to be a lot of these, but this one in particular, the $2, the 2 cards that are $10 are probably going to be $5 cards, if not lower after this. Just talking value wise.
Yeah.
So that price of 66 is probably going to drop quite a bit. For me, I don't think these new cards that I chose, there might be other ones that are maybe better, but for me, these are the ones that I thought were most interesting, and I don't think that these are going to get that expensive. So for me, I'm going singles, and so to buy the deck for me,
The price is
it's
wrong.
not worth it for me. So I'm in the same boat as
I think that's a good way of putting it. Yes.
so. All right, let's move on to the next deck. Lowry, this is your baby.
All right, we got Jump Scare with Zamone at the head of the table. It does some, I don't know, actually even remember, even though I said I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I don't remember it. She was kind of cool. Oh, she was one of the Manifest Dread ones.
Oh, yep.
So, we kind of had Manifest back during Murders of Parlov Manor or whatever, and you did that deck, and that was kind of like yeah, it's a deck, and you wanted to build it, and then it just is what it is. And that's kind of the problem with Manifest, Morph, anything that's like that. I think it's fun, but I don't think it has a lot of longevity, if that makes a lot of sense. But cards between $10 plus, we're at $47.
Jeez.
And so that's Ashaya, Soul of the Wild, which is the one that turns all your creatures into forests, which is a dope card.
Yeah.
I love that one. I don't think the price is going to move too much on that. But then the second one is Asaya, Tyrant of the Gyre Strait. It only has one printing in Commander Legends Precon. It's sitting at $31 right now. I think that's going to half. It'll probably be in between 15 and 20 easily. So if you're banking on that, that's kind of what you got going on. And then you have Augur of Autumn, Scoot Swarm, Hydra Omnivore, that's going to bottom out, World Spine Worm, Overwhelming Stampede, and Primordial Mist, for a total of $71 in value between basically those cards. But most of that's coming from Asai.
What's the cost of this deck?
The deck is sitting at about $40 on Card Kingdom.
Okay, $40. Okay.
So nothing crazy. I think they're expecting that Asai $31 card to go down as well. So there is a little bit there's like a landfall theme going on in the deck. There's a morph. It's Manifest Red, which I think is better than Manifest, but it is what it is.
All right, let's get to the 3 new cards that you had picked out for this one.
3 new ones: Giggling Skitter Spike? Skitter. All right. Bob, I got me.
I can't even read.
You had it right the first time.
I said Skitter Pike. I missed the S. It's Skitter Spike.
Yeah.
4 mana, 1/1, indestructible. Whenever it attacks or blocks or become the target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent, and then it has monstrous 5, which for 5 mana, which puts 5/1/1 counters on it. But if you have anything that's going to pump it up, it can do a lot of damage.
That's good with 1/1 counter kind of decks too, to be able to proliferate and all that stuff. If you're able to
1/1
keep it.
counter decks. You got Cranial Plating that can just bump it up with all those treasures and clues and all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be indestructible. It doesn't go away. I think it's a very cool, different version of Stuffy Doll. And does it hit? Equal to its power to each opponent. So that's everybody.
So you don't have to pick on one person.
Opponent.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
And so I think it does, it's attacks, it's blocks, and if you're able to like put a giant growth on it, it can kind of do that. But yada yada. But I'm also glad that it doesn't work with like equipment, like moving that shit around because of that bluebird. Like, that's just stupid.
Nadu kind of crap going on there.
Yeah, Nadu. Yeah, you can't quite do that. So that's good. So I really like that card. Next one's Glitch Interpreter. 2 and a blue, 2/3 human wizard. When it enters, if you control no face down permanents, return Glitch Interpreter to your hand and Manifest Red, which is look at the top 2 cards and put one of them face down as a 2/2. And whenever one or more colorless creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
I do want to add one thing. When you Manifest Dread, you look at the 2, one goes face down, the other goes in the graveyard. Just so people kind of know.
Oh, I missed the graveyard part. Yeah.
That's so that.
So I always like those effects that allow, like, whenever a creature deals damage, you get to draw a card. Like those are effects that are really, really nice. Like Brazilex, Coastal Privacy, Coastal Privacy. Yeah, baby. Toski, like those effects are really good. And they draw you a ton of cards.
Yeah.
So I like it that this has a specific, like this also works for your Eldrazi deck. Right. Because it's looking
colorless.
for colorless. It doesn't have to be like flip down card. Like that's too specific. So
or even artifacts.
This works in your artifact decks. I like this a lot. And then the last one, Shriekwood Devourer, 5 and 2 green for 7/5 Tree Folk. It has Trample. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, untap up to X lands, where X is the greatest power among those creatures. So if you get to attack with the Devour, you're untapping 7 lands.
That's crazy.
Which is pretty cool. If you got those lands that can get you more mana than what, than one. You're gaining a lot of value there. And
Nope.
it doesn't have to be attacking. So it comes down, you attack.
Right, you attack
untap.
with something else. Yep.
Yeah.
But it
your
has to
highest
be.
power.
But it actually it has to be of the creatures attacking though.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So it comes down. It's still.
But you whatever's attacking, whatever has the greatest power, it won't count this 7. But when this 7 attacks your auto, it's probably going to be the greatest power that's untapping. Now, can you, in response to untapping X lands, if you had tap abilities on lands, like you have to pick all 7 of them first, right? Yeah, you would. You couldn't.
Like, what are you looking to do?
Like if you had things that did like a utility lands, like a utility land tournament stuff, if you had tap abilities on them, like for draw, like let's say it's a war room and you're able to, let's say you had the unlimited mana, if you're able to untap it and tap it 7 times, you know what I'm saying? If you only picked war room,
it's at one time.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. All 7 have to be chosen, and then it all happens. Yeah, I dig it. I like this. It's like the last deck I was talking about. It's big, it's 7 to come down.
Right.
But
I think that's a really good thing that you're pointing out. Like 7 mana, what you're doing is like in this deck you're playing more cards. In your deck, you are trying to win the game. And I think that's a good spot for your deck. And this is like a 7 mana ramp card, which tends to be not always the best. Now, there are ones that triple your land production. Like, that's really good. Like, that's also a game ender. So the question is this good enough to be a game ender when it comes to the ramp? Questionable. You know what I mean? But I think it's a fair card to where it's casted.
Out of these 3, which one's your favorite, do you think?
Probably Giggling Skitter Spike.
That's what I was going to say, too. I think I like that one. Like, I like the glitch interpreter, but the problem is like it feels like if you cast it and you're not playing a morph kind of deck or whatever, it has to go back to your hand. Like it feels like you're wasting a turn almost in a way.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But I do like the draw effect and all that. But I was just thinking, like in this deck, there is a lot of green. There's green. We have a lot of creatures that do the draw when any creature hits. So it's like it's adding a little bit more of a hoop because it's not hoop.
In its colors, it's probably not the best.
Right, but I think
there are better options. The question is this is more specific for certain decks that you're playing.
Right. So I like the Giggling Skitter Spike.
Skitter Spike.
Or Skitter's Pike. Depends on how you want to break it up. Okay,
that's not how I want to say it. That's
well, if you want to say the Pike word. All right. Okay, I guess I have to be the one that decides on this.
Now, saying $71 in value, you can get it for
Let me
$40.
work it.
We do think that there's going to be a pretty big drop off in the value from a couple of the cards. Do the new cards put you over the top? Where are you thinking?
Let's say we half this, right? Like the prices, like you were saying. So it brings us down
to
35 and it
36.
costs 40.
Yeah.
Sorry, went back the other way. And then we got these 3. I mean, okay, personally, I think I'll hit this. I think it's worth it.
Baby, I'm worth it.
Okay.
I'm worth it.
But am I gonna buy? It'd be more singles, I think, again for me, because then I think it's worth it. I think this is better. You have bigger cards. How many? You had 2 big cards in this? Yeah, 2 expensive cards, which is way more than my two $10 cards in the last deck. These are much bigger, so the drop is still. Let's cut them in half. They're still, you get half or 3/4 of the value right there in those 2 cards. Then you're just talking all these other cards, and you get the new cards with it. Yeah, I think this one's probably worth it. Where are you sitting?
Okay. I'm sitting with not worth it.
The price
Mainly
is wrong.
because then again, that's a personal thing. Like, am I going to buy this one? No. If I did not have a side Tyrant to the Gyre Strait,
Oh yeah,
I would.
for sure. That is a good.
But
point.
since I do have it, like, I'm not gonna spend more money just to get a second one at this point.
Good for you.
All right, fair. And so like, I think that's fine. If I didn't have it though, it would be worth it.
Yeah. That's a good point. That is a big card. If you don't have it in your collection, this would be a good way to get it and get a whole bunch of other stuff for it too. So, all right, let's move on to the next one, and that is probably one of the more popular ones of this these Commander Precons, but it is Endless Punishment. Currently, this sucker is going for $70. I believe this is the most expensive Precon. I don't know. Is your other one?
How much was that?
$70 right now.
That seems like a bit.
Yeah, it just went on a spike. You could have gotten it like a week ago for half that price for the normal $40 or whatever.
The normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this sucker's up to 70. Let's break this down and see what is all in this. This time we have 3 cards that are over $10.
All right.
We have Kedrick. That weird parasite. Yes, hit it. Kedrick?
All right. He can't even read.
Kedrick. I don't. It's the one where
Every time you try, I'm gonna hit this button.
So the one drop that if you have a red permanent, then when people draw a card, they take damage every time they take a damage, whatever.
I think that still counts.
He can't even read.
We have Mogus, God of the Slaughter, and Witch's Clinic, which I did not.
Is
realize.
Mogus over 10?
Yeah, it's at $10. And then I didn't realize Witch's Clinic because that's a $12 card. So
Yeah.
between those 3, that gets you up to $37. We
Nope.
have 12 cards that are between $2 and $10. I'm going to only name off 6 of them that are noteworthy. Braid's Arisen Nightmare, so my commander I was talking about earlier. We have Rampaging Ferocidon, Vile Smasher, Lightning Greaves, which always is like a $5 card. Graven Karens. I hate reading cards. Graven
He can't even
Karen.
read.
There we go.
It's
You
a
can say Graven cans.
It's a bunch of Karens coming out of graves. A Graven.
That's traumatic right there.
I'm gonna make a proxy of that one.
But
It's Sulphur
when
Springs.
I was in Australia, there was
You
a place like spelled that way, and it was Cairns, and we Americans were like, we're going to Cairns, and they were like, where? Cairns. Like, you mean Cans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who has silent R's?
Yeah.
But that's my understanding of it.
So Karens. Anyways, so we have the total value of $50 between the cards that are 2 and 10. So 12 cards that get you to $50. You get a total of $87. So it does get you over the value. Like I said, the deck is 70 right now. Maybe you can find some good deals on Amazon or something if you're checking now, or hopefully the prices come down. But
Hopefully.
it's really expensive. But I think part of the reason is there's a lot of cool cards in this, especially the commanders. So it kind of sucks because 2 of the cards out of the 3 cards are the commanders for the deck.
Yeah.
But I think they're really cool by themselves, not just in this deck. So the first one, the Lord of Pain. It is 3 colors, black and a red for a human assassin. It's a 5/5 with menace. Your opponents can't gain life. Whenever a player casts their first spell each turn, choose another target player. The Lord of Pain deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to the chosen player. So it's that there's that other dude that he's the demon. It does it back to any target. This one, at least, you can blame it on the other player for, you can do that whole politics thing. I'm not doing this. This player cast that.
Oh, you're talking about like Karavek the Merciless?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that one you're choosing. This one, I mean, you are choosing another player, but you can blame the player that's casting spells. I mean, that's how I would do it. I'm not hearing you.
It's
there,
very
man.
like Vile Smasher.
Right. That's
And
what
I
Red Shy
love
always
it.
does. Like it's not
Yeah.
me. It's the dice that's doing it. I'm sorry.
I believe Vile Smasher is getting reprinted in this Precon too.
Yep. Remember that was what I said was.
Did you say it?
Yeah, that was one of them.
Remember, I don't listen to what you're saying really.
All right. Then the next card. Actually, I'll talk about the other commander in this, and then we'll go to the other new card.
Okay.
So we got Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls. So this is the face one that is with the commander deck. 2 and 1 black. It is an Elder Demon for flying with ward, pay 2 life. Whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, put a 1/1 counter on this and draw a card. So it can only hit them on their turn, and it only can happen the one time. So it isn't going to happen with that player attacking another player and doing damage and they lose life. It has to be that player's turn for you to, it says, yeah, see, Wrench is saying it's not my fault. Virus Smasher chooses you.
Right.
So the cool thing is, or not cool thing, I mean, it's you have to plan this out a little bit. Like this deck is built well, I think, for around this commander, because as you can see, that other creature, the Lord of Pain, works well with this because it's during each, so you're doing damage, hopefully to the player. Actually, it might not work well. Now I'm thinking about it. If it's that player's turn, they're not getting hit with that spell. It's another player that's getting hit. So those two actually might not work together. But I think you can totally build around this. I think it'd be really fun. You've built some decks that do the direct damage kind of thing, that reduces costs and all that stuff. Like this feel like it fits there a little bit. I love that this is getting bigger. It has kind of protection.
Right.
I don't think the pain to life is
when I read that card, I was like, I like that one a lot.
The draw part is really nice.
Yeah.
This can turn into, in a way, a Voltron-ish deck, because he's still getting one
for
counter,
sure.
So
I mean, for me, the way that I would build this is like, if an opponent casts something, have some kind of damage thing that's going to happen. Like that's Eidolon of whatever.
Yeah.
Cards. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to Stump here. So that's how I would, probably like the Rack, Black Vice, try and go for like things that are just going to deal damage to people,
or just
however they're doing it.
Bogus in general. Bogus that's in this. I mean, that makes sense because they're either sacking a creature or taking 2 damage. So that's fantastic in this. Another card that works really well with this is the other new card that's in this. It's Barbed Flare Gremlin. It is 3 colors and a red. It is a gremlin. 3/2, first strike, and haste. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, if this gremlin is tapped, that player adds 1 mana of any type to that land produced. Then that land deals 1 damage to that player. This isn't doing the damage. The land is doing the damage. Yeah, which is kind of interesting. But it is doubling everybody's mana, which is interesting because you're helping, but then also hurting at the same time.
Yeah.
Mind you.
I mean, that one seems really cool.
Yeah. This can hurt you. You have to plan this out a little bit better. You don't want to cast all your stuff on your main phase and then not get the benefit. 1 damage isn't going to do much to you. You want the 1 damage because it helps your commander out, or it helps whatever you're doing with whatever commander you decide to build. If you build the face commander,
double the damage, or double your land for 4.
Yeah,
that seems cool.
Yeah. So, but it doubles everybody's. They get a little bit of pain in it. If you have your commander out, you're getting a counter and drawing off of it. You cast all your stuff in your second main phase, and yours is doubled too. You lose a couple life, but you don't give any other benefits. So I think this guy seems really fun. It's just going to gradually take down players. They're going to be happy they're getting extra land. And then when it comes down to the end, they're like, oh shit, I'm almost dead because of this stupid gremlin that is taking me down little by little. So, okay. Those are the new cards. That is the value right there. $87. The deck costs $70. Lowry, is it worth it? Whoops. This
Is
one.
it worth it? Let me work it.
Well, you think I'm getting another beer?
Not at the $70 price range.
The price is wrong.
I'm not. Yeah. This is the one that I would be most likely to buy. If it was in that $40 range, I'd be fine with it. So I'd sit on it and try and save about $25 before I went out and got this. Because I don't have a cataract parasite. And
is that how you say
you've
his
had
name?
that forever. And so, but like, it's something that I haven't had. And it's really strange because every time I look at it, it just goes up more. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking buy that. So I'm glad that there's a reprint.
Yeah.
I like these cards a lot. that gremlin goes great in my Rowan deck, where I don't care if I'm damaged, it just helps me out. It'll triple my mana production. Like
that's a really good card for that deck. Holy shit. Yeah,
Right.
that'll be really nice.
And so like and I love these two commanders. I think there's a great deck. It just sucks that it's up to $70 as the Precon. So I'm going no.
Okay. If it was like the other ones 40, would you?
If it was in the 40s, yes.
Okay. I'm in the same boat.
The price is wrong.
I think the $70 price mark is too much. There isn't enough in there. Now I will say that if that price holds, I bet these are more expensive than they should be, because these are going to be harder to get. You get them in collector boosters for the full arts, but with the deck being more expensive, the cards in them, they're going to be less out there, I think. So, but out of these, if you had to choose one of these cards, what's your favorite out of the cards in this deck?
I like the commander on the right.
The Valgavoth?
Valgavoth? Damn it.
One. She can't even read.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool commander there. I
Is
love
that what you like most too?
Yeah, the
I know
Gremlin.
Alex is building the Lord of Pain.
Oh,
so.
is he? Oh, so I can't like that one.
Nope.
I like
Because if we're positive towards it, he's gonna shit on it and leave, and I want him to build more decks. So
there you go. I like the Gremlin's really interesting. I think that's kind of a fun thing to play. But yeah, I think the commander is really cool in this one. So both of them are really cool. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the last deck. Lowry, what do you got going with this one here?
This one's cool. I'm an Atu. I do want to talk about the commander, but when she's in play, every enchantment spell that's in your hand has miracle for 4 less. And so
oh yeah, that is pretty sweet.
So basically, if you draw an enchantment and she's in play, you get to cast the enchantment for 4 less, which seems bonkers. So this is a miracle deck. I love miracle. It's great.
Do you know the value of this deck?
You can buy it on CK for $45. The value's at $69.50 from what you get in the deck.
Well, yeah,
you got Ink Shield and Extravagant Replication are the $10 or more, which is just $23. But Extravagant Replication has been going up over the last like 6 months from what I've noticed. I don't see that holding. But Ink Shield probably will stick above 8-ish, I'd say.
Yeah, because it did just get the reprint with the Sheldon Secret Lair, and I did notice the prices have tanked because I was trying to move.
Did it go down a little bit from that?
Yeah, a little bit from that. So, yeah, I think your assessment is good on the $8 mark.
But then you got like Ondu Spirit Dancer, Athrio Shroud Veil. That's not a good card. I don't think that's going to stay at 5. But you got Ponder, Arcane Denial, Mirror Maid, Monologue Tax, which is a solid reprint. Timely Ward, Sphere of Safety, Shark Typhoon, one with the Multiverse, which is a cool reprint. Hall of Heliod's, Generosity, and Underground River. So a list of cheaper cards right there. I mean, your biggest ones are going to be Hall of Heliod's, Generosity, one with the Multiverse, and Ondu Spirit Dancer beyond the top 2. They've been doing a lot of this is like the 3rd enchantment deck in a little over a year, because you had a Nixthia, which was a big one with Commander Masters. Commander Master? Yeah. And then you have this one for sure. And then I want to say there was one in the middle, like back during Eldraine, but I'm not 100% on that. But I think the deck is really cool. I like the Miracle mechanic.
Yeah, that seems pretty sweet.
Let's go to the new 3 cards.
Oh yeah, these I like these.
So first one, Soaring Lightbringer, probably one of my favorite. Like this one makes decks. But 4 colorless white, 4/5 flyer, bird, glimmer. It is an enchantment creature. Other enchantment creatures you control have flying, and whenever you attack a player, create a 1/1 white glimmer enchantment creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. So if you attack 3 players, you get 3 of those tokens. They're enchantments.
They all have
so
flying.
They're going to trigger any of that, that kind of stuff. This This card's really good.
And with Aminatu's ability, this potentially could be 1. Like,
yeah. So, but I think that fits in a ton. It's a very nice aggressive card for your enchantment decks, like a nice way to close things out. Next one, Fear of Sleep Paralysis, 5 mana and a blue for a 6/6 nightmare enchantment creature. Has flying. Whenever this card or another enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, which is a new mechanic in the set, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. Stun counters can't be removed from permanents your opponent's control.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy because this isn't just dealing with the rooms. Like, it's saying whenever this or another enchantment you control enters, you're basically permanently locking their shit down until this leaves. Like,
right.
And even if this leaves, it's still stunned for another turn. Like, they have to remove the counter before they can untap it. So even when this gets out, like whatever, gets spot removal, mass removal, they're still tapped down for at least 1 more turn. So yeah, this is that's nuts.
This is a 6/6 flying for 6 that will lock down your opponent's board as long as you got enough enchantments rolling. And then it just kind of tags in the rooms if you like, if it even matters.
Yeah.
Like, but I love it. This is a great card.
I might even throw it in Tom Bombadil, even though it's sagas, but that's all enchantments. So it's like, hey, I got a way to lock down somebody. You know, I think this one's gonna be fun.
Right. If you have a blue enchantment deck, I think this goes in it. Yeah. Like, even just it being the 6/6 flying for 6 that ETBs and permanently taps the biggest creature on the board, or like the most ridiculous like mana accelerant or whatever. Like, this is a great card.
Yeah, I love it. All right, what's your last card there?
That's going to be Ancient Cellar Spawn, 1 and 2 black for a 3/3 horror enchantment creature. Each spell you cast that's a demon, horror, or nightmare costs 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, target opponent loses life equal to the difference.
I wish this was a legendary, because in multicolor, then free spell deck. You just
no, that's great. I love this.
Yeah.
This is a great card in Rowan because it reduces the cost of spells.
Yeah.
So like,
it's just...
suck it, Will.
I was gonna say I can't use it for Will. Damn it.
But yeah, if you're doing cost reduction spells, so like Ursa's Incubator, there's a lot of cards that do a really good job of lowering the cast of spells. Like, your free spells, I think, work.
Well,
whenever you cast a spell.
Yeah, as I said, free spell. Yeah,
so like Force of Will is 5 damage to somebody. Right. Like, shit.
Well, you can play any of the medallions would work with this. You know, you're at least it's reducing by 1, reducing by 1.
I wonder if Evoke works for this as well. This feels like the conversation I was having with Alex about the Lord of Pain, like, because reducing the spells there just allow you to deal more damage. And so Evoke works with that. And so whenever you cast a spell, you're casting
less than
it for the Evoke spot.
Mana value is the mana.
The CMC is what's at the top right. So yeah, you could deal damage with your Evoke spells, like
Mole Drifter.
This card might be really good in the Lord of Pain. Like, this is going to be a really good card there, I think, if you build that way. But this card's really cool.
All right. Okay. So we have those new cards, which actually would, out of those 3, which one's your favorite? Which one would you like the best out of this?
I really like all 3 of them. Personally, I guess I'm going to have to go with Soaring Lightbringer, because I think that's going to go into my Enixthia deck. And that definitely works, and I know that it's there. The other 2, I don't know where they're... Well, I guess Ancient Cellar Spawn's going into Rowan. I don't know where Fear of Sleep Paralysis is going to go, but I like Soaring.
I like the most just because it fits in my Tom Bombadil. I'm like,
got it. Yeah. So that shows you, like, if you have a deck for something new, like, you have an affinity for that card for a bit. You're like, I know where to use that.
Yep, exactly. All right, so we have a value. What was the value, or not value? The
value's $69.
And what was what was it cost to get?
$45.
45.
And
it's
so
a-
you got roughly a $15 difference. Is that 50? 45, 55, 65, $25 difference. We definitely could say like a lot of these,
I
a
don't.
lot of that value's in the under $5 mark.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily going to move, but less and less people are going to want them as well.
Are you gonna say a deck is worth it in this at all?
Is close.
I know I'm supposed
This is
to.
yours.
Be,
This is
I
your
know
call,
I'm supposed
though.
to be
This
the
is
one
yours.
that.
You want to see what I'm doing?
God.
Is it worth it? Like the new cards are super cool.
They are.
The value is.
I don't think the value
there.
of these are gonna go up. I think
I
they're
can
very.
agree with that.
I think they're very niche of what they're doing. I don't want to be so negative with everything. I think I'm going singles, so I don't.
The price is
I
wrong.
think I'm going singles. Maybe that's what I should change it. Instead of the price is wrong, we should make a button that just like all the single ladies or something single. Yeah, doing the Beyonce.
Yeah.
Because I think that's
Yeah, we could do that.
I like the cards in it, but I'm gonna pick these singles up because they're gonna be dirt cheap, and then I already have the cards that are, the expensive
Right.
stuff. So,
Right. I personally might get this. I'm still gonna say the price is wrong,
Oh, price
price
is
is
wrong.
but this
For
is
all
as
four
close
of
as
them.
it's gonna get. I think
So
this is
you're like
on that.
you're almost worth it. It's almost
Right.
worth it.
I like a lot of the cards, the new ones, and that's where it is, right? I like a lot of the new ones. I don't need any of the reprints, and there's tons that are under like that value threshold of like, in my mind, like $4 is a good mark, and I think you were mentioning that too. So like, if you got a $2 like Ponder at $2, like, okay, I could get Ponder, I can get that for like get rid of that for like $1.52, but it's going to become less and less, and eventually you're going to get stuck with a ton of them.
Yeah, and
You
when,
know.
when we say, oops, going the wrong way. No, am I going the wrong way? There we go. When we say get rid of it, we're mainly saying buy list. So we're sending into Card
Yeah.
Kingdom or wherever. Like, you don't sell ponders. You're not making
No,
anything
yeah.
out of that.
No,
You maybe trade it to
can you
Card
trade it?
Sphere,
Can you buy
buy
list
list
it?
it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're saying when we talk about that. So okay. All right, everybody. We want to hear which decks you guys want to build. When we say they aren't worth it, doesn't mean the value isn't there. They all show that they have a value over what the cost is for the decks. The $70 one's kind of pushing it a little bit, but
Yeah. And always, again, if it's something that you really like, the only one I would say is avoid is the red-black one, just because
'Cause it's so expensive.
it's overpriced at this
Right.
point. Maybe hope to save about $20, which is a legitimate amount.
Yeah.
Like, but everything else, if you like it, buy it.
right. So, but yeah, I'd like to hear which. We'll put a poll up this week, seeing which one people are most excited for. So get ready to vote for that on the community tab on YouTube. So that should do it for Is It Worth It? Which one do I do? It's time for
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it.
All right. Let's. Should we get to the tournament stuff really quick? Okay. We had, our tournament, and we had our Elite Eight battle. Well, you're going to get a spoiler right there. Let me minimize this. So we had our
There we
Elite
go.
Eight. First matchup was our number 1 overall pick, Reliquary Tower, going against your number 9 pick. So both of these are yours, War Room. And Reliquary Tower takes it down with 66% of the vote. So that
That's a good
moves
margin.
on to the finals. Yeah,
That's strong.
yeah, I didn't. Well, I mean, it's Reliquary Tower, so I guess I understand that. Then we move on to my number 1 overall pick,
Wowza.
Urza Saga. So the number 2 overall going against your number 7 Plaza of Heroes, and Urza Saga. I got to get to that button.
Get the fuck out.
Takes it down with 82% of the vote. Urza Saga has blown out every single matchup so far.
Problematic. You're lucky that hashtag Team Force Walk isn't in this.
Get the fuck out!
So Urza Saga moves on to the final 4. Our next matchup was Beseju going against Field of the Dead.
Oh,
So
wow.
number 4, Beseju against your number 11, Field of the Dead. Beseju moves on with 64% of the votes. So I think this is the problem one. Not the problem. This is the one I'm worried about. Like, that's the one where I'm like, this could have been the number 1 overall pick. And then we have our final match, which is Bajuka Bog, number 3 Bajuka Bog going against your, both of yours
my
are
goodness.
here. Number 5 Strip Mine. This was our closest one, man. But number 3 loses to Strip Mine with 55% of the vote to Strip Mine. So Bajuka
Yeah.
is donezo. Let's check
That's
out.
I mean that's not good for me. I don't think that's gonna go very well at this point.
Let's see here.
I don't like saying that I have at the end of this I have Reliquary Tower and Strip Mine versus Urza's Saga and
Yeah.
Besuju.
Yeah, these are the matchups. So we
It's
have
not looking good.
the final 4 is Reliquary Tower going against Beseju and Urza Saga going against Strip Mine. So this is gonna be tough, man. I mean,
I think it's gonna be an Adam
it
finals.
It could be. With
I
you
don't think
having-
we've had that before, have we?
No, not a finals. So maybe on my winning streak we had one. Maybe, but it mostly there's normally been one. We each get one in there, but
I look at this and I am worried. Very much worried.
I'm excited for Urza's for life. But yeah, so the voting for this will be up starting tomorrow, actually. So Tuesday on the community tab. So make sure you guys get in there. And K1 is saying Reliquary Tower is a contender. It is the number 1 overall card for utility land. So
Yeah,
there is
used
that.
by far. But the
But-
price difference
I
and
will
availability.
right, and that's
is
what I was gonna
there.
say is Reliquary Towers in like a lot of precons.
Yeah.
Most people when they build the decks, personally I do the same thing. It goes in there. Beseju goes in. It should go in every single green deck because there is no downside, and it's removal on your land, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Urza's I think should have an easier time to get there, but I think the strip mine part with the degens that like destroying land, we have a lot of evil people out there. You never know. You never know.
They're not evil if you
just
you're a
monsters.
good person if you vote for it.
Because they're a bunch of monsters. So, but yeah, make sure you guys get those votes in so we can see who makes it to the finals. We'll announce the winners next week. Okay, let's get out of here. We're going to just do a little tag stuff quick, and then we're going to jump over. Well, really quick, let's just do the tags here, and then I'm going to jump over to Stump the Smith Savant. So make sure if you guys want to support the Commander Smiths, every little bit helps. If you want to be a patron, that is the best way to support us. $1 gets you into the Discord, gets you chatting with us and everything like that. $5 or more gets you proxies like I mentioned before. Like this is one of the proxies going out to a winner from Stump the Smith Savant. So that is Gaia's Cradle there that I made there. So the higher you move on the tiers, you can get bonuses and all that stuff and get proxies there. We also are going to continue the giveaways. So there's a lot of benefits to become a patron. Not only is it supporting us and helping us grow, but it also helps us get to our goals. So one of our big goals is we want to get cameras here, and we're going to start recording games and all that stuff in the very near future. So please become a patron. That'd be the greatest way to help us out. If you don't have the monies or you don't really want to support us that way, you can support us by just watching us on YouTube. Subscribe there, watch our videos there. If you have a chance to watch the podcast, that's another place to check it out instead of just listening. And then the other thing is you can donate on the live stuff, but we'll get more onto that later. Not today. We got to adjust that a little bit more, but that is another way you guys can support us is on the live stuff. I think that's it. We are also on TikTok. We are also on Instagram. You can email us at commandersmiths@gmail.com. And that brings us in to Stump the Smith Savant. And you got Stump, so here we go. It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name.
All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowry is going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, he'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He will try to. He gets 5. Like I'm doing too many things. I'm like closing windows and doing this, so like my normal routine just went out the window. Larry has. He's gonna yes or no questions. He gets 5. He gets up to 5 wrong guesses before he's considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If he can get everything about the card but can't get what the card name is, he'll get the initials of the card. If he has a clue left over, he will get a bonus clue, which should help give it away. Card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. Everybody can enter. You don't just have to be a patron. You guys can enter. There are 2 ways you guys can enter. If you're a patron, you can enter by shooting me a message on Discord or email. Doesn't matter. commandersmiths@gmail.com. But if you're not a patron, you can just email us at commandersmiths@gmail.com. Like I said, it has to be in 10,000 EDH rec decks. We draw your name. I have to give the shout out here because once we reach level 3, every 3 weeks we add a card to the ante. And the first week is a proxy, a foil proxy of something. Second week is an actual card. The 3rd level is Ragavan. This was donated by Tommy Olson. Is the, what is this? The Master Universes Beyond, whatever. Not Beyond, but the special border. I don't remember.
Masters of the Universe.
There we go. Thank you. I got like part of every word. What, or no, is that what it is?
That's He-Man.
No? Yeah. We're going to call it that. It's He-Man border, so it's the orange
Can't wait for
border.
that crossover.
Thank you, Tommy, for that. So once we get to the level 3, that'll be up for grabs. But you want to get entered because your name has to get drawn. So you don't want to wait until we get to level 3 to enter. So and you have a chance to win other things. So just make sure you guys enter there. Again, RoboCop, I did see you were on. You, since you are the stumper this week, you get to choose the proxy. So if you didn't watch it, go back to the beginning where I gave you the choices of what proxy, foil proxy you want. As it doesn't matter if you don't win today. We just want you to pick it since you were the first one drawn. Lowry, record 102 and 35. Like I mentioned, this is round 35 of week 1. I think that's it. Eliminated the chat, so chat can play along. And here we go. It's a short one here. Tritons search for omens in its wake. Tritons search for omens in its wake. And we are going to do a timer. Whoops, not 2 minutes. We want 20 minutes.
2 minutes left. Perfect.
There we go.
All right. Triton search for omens in its wake. Triton's likely puts this on Theros, the plane of Theros. Omen, and also omens, wake, Tritons all are saying blue. So does this card have color identity blue?
Hello, boobies.
Is this on the plane of Theros?
Hello, boobies.
They are a strong enchantment themed plane. Thassa is around there in that area, but there's like Tritons and there's like Omen of the Sea God or something. That's what I'm kind of feeling. But I got 2 right. First clue, please.
The art features a creature normally found on land and often ridden, but in this case it appears in a watery environment. The art features a creature normally found on land and often ridden, but in this case it appears in a watery environment.
Like a seahorse? Like a horse? I don't know if that's gonna help me, but search for omens in its wake. That kind of makes it sound like it's a creature, but is this a permanent card?
Hello, boobies.
All right, so more than likely is this a creature and or enchantment?
Hello, boobies.
So that could be I don't really want to. Let's go with the second clue, please.
The text features an advantage only once each turn.
Sorry, repeat that.
The text features an advantage only once each turn and never on your turn. The text features an advantage only once each turn and never on your turn.
That's a good clue. I have no idea. All right. Again, one more time, please.
The text features an advantage only once each turn. I should say a possible advantage only once each turn and never on your turn. Shouldn't say it happens every time. It's a possible advantage.
Oh. Creature. And
Hello,
enchantment.
boobies. Hello, boobies.
Two colorless and a blue.
Hello, boobies.
Uh-oh, RoboCop.
Whenever you cast a spell on an opponent's turn, you get to draw a card. First
Hello,
spell.
boobies.
There you go. Now we need power toughness and creature type or types.
Stupid. Is it a horse?
Hello, boobies.
Still need one
Is
more.
there another part to that,
Yeah,
or
there's
is that
still one more, yep.
stupid? Power 2,
Hello, boobies.
toughness 2.
Hello, boobies.
All right, the initials. Oh, wait, no,
No, I
no.
gotta
You
get-
still got one more. Sorry. Almost.
So it's a horse something. Or something horse? I think it's a horse something. This is stupid. I was gonna. How many wrong do I have?
0.
0? All right. Well, you don't. I don't remember 30 seconds ago. Like, I'm a goldfish. I'm just throwing stuff out there here.
Tritons search for omens in its wake. The art features a creature normally found on land and often ridden, but in this case it appears in a watery environment. The text features an advantage only once. Well, you already got that. I don't need to read that part. So far you have the casting cost, everything but what the second creature type is.
We're down 5 minutes at this point. And you could basically hit the button of I know what it is, I just don't know the name. That's
It's time for everyone's favorite
that the only place
game
for it?
show.
I know what it is, I just don't know the name.
I can't fast forward to it.
I don't know if that's worth the button then, I guess.
I should isolate that. I know what it is. I just don't know the name.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a horse, of course. What else could it be? Horse? Jelly? No. That's not a thing.
I'm sorry.
What?
A creature type jelly? I mean, I guess in Dungeons and Dragons, don't they have like I think that's an ooze. It's not even a jelly.
Well,
thing.
there's Man of War is a jellyfish.
Yeah, but
so
it
like
doesn't,
that's what I was
think it's
thinking. Not
creature-
a jelly.
I don't.
I stopped myself.
I don't think. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fish. Is it a fish? Horsefish?
Hello,
There you
boobies.
Got it. Wow.
All right. The initials are WH.
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
The initials are WH.
What a horse. Just kidding.
Wrong.
Water horse. Water horse.
Chat, can you give me clues, bonus clues to give to him? Because he does have a bonus. And how would I give this away? Yeah.
I do think the second word's probably horse.
No.
Is the second word horse?
I was going to tell you. No, it's not. I was going to break that down. I'll give you this. The second word is actually kind of two words. The first part, which is the H word,
Horsey.
deals
The
with
horsey?
an animal, but not a horse. but is an animal that you find in water. And there's another.
Whinnying horse.
The first. I don't know how I break this whole thing up. So WH. The H is another animal, another large animal you only find in the water. Well, you can't get out of the water, but you typically find in the water. Actually, what here's how you. I should have said it this way. The H is known as one of the most dangerous animals on the planet.
Mosquito.
It begins with H, and it's in the water. I think it kills the most people. I always hear that stat
Mosquito.
from this. Stop it. Animal. Mosquito's a bug. Get out of here.
Look, I think you're semantics at that point.
I'm gonna see what Renshai was giving some clues if I can use any of those.
All right.
No.
I think I have an idea with that one. Can you get me something for the first one? W.
I was gonna try to do a Bush impression, but I don't think I can.
Thank you.
I'll just read a book upside down. The first, so both of these have two words inside of each of their words. So you could break them up into two different words. So the first one, the W is going to be when water is coming up to shore. I sort of popped. Did my audio stop again? Nope, it's still going. All right. Water coming up to shore, and it, does the curl and the splash. It's called something.
And then the second word, it's two things like that, but you only gave me a clue for the first one.
Well, it's the animal, and then things that people do in like in Minnesota when they go up north in the woods and they have a tent. So that's the part that's hard, because it's like you don't have the initials of that one. It's just part of that word. I should really write down if you get to this point, because the thing is, in my head, I'm like, well, if he gets everything here, he knows this card. But the thing is that's a lot of cards, so I gotta remember to do that instead of making it up on the spot.
All right. Let me first word. First part of the first word is wave.
Hello, boobies.
Wave break.
Hello, boobies.
There we go. Okay.
Hippo.
Hello, boobies.
Wave break hippo. There's another part to that word.
I gave you that hint.
I get that, but the problem is like there's like a word, it's like part of your brain, like the hippocampus, but it feels like it's just the hippocamp. So I'm not. How many wrong do I have?
0.
No, I got one wrong. I got
Oh
one
yeah,
wrong.
you
when
did.
I called
you
it
did.
a horse.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
right. That's right. I didn't write that one down. Sorry. I'm not gonna rip
Fucking
on
cheater.
you.
Oh.
Stupid. You don't
All
have any
right.
wrong.
Well, wave break hippocamp.
Hello,
There
boobies.
you
All
go.
right.
Hang on. Let me show it. Damn it. I need to write down the bonus clues better to help you.
I'm surprised that nobody kicked in any ideas. Renshai
Well,
knows these.
Renshai said,
I was really worried that I was gonna have flash or flying or something like in my mind that was there.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I got the fish though. Like the jellyfish part. Like jellyfish. Wait.
Yeah.
I
It's
got real lucky there.
your horse jelly. Sorry, RoboCop. I suck at giving the bonus clues, but he wrote, "I suck at this game" when you were nailing all the other parts before I was doing that part. RoboCop, I know you're in Canada, so I don't know if you don't have to sign and send it. It depends, shipping and all that stuff. But if you'd like to, you can sign and send 2 copies of that. We will. Lowry, show your wall on yours. I have mine over here. I gotta change my studio setup. There they are. And a lot of these Lowry will play with them, and I actually want to take that idea too and start playing with cards that you guys sign too. So, RoboCop, nice try on that one. That was a good one. How did you figure this one out? Where did it hit your brain? Like, how did it hit you? Just the seahorse.
I think so I've played around with this card. I don't think it's ever officially made it into a deck,
Done
but
the
this was
same
in
thing.
Calamax for a hot minute, where like I want to play an instant on everybody's turn. I think I also wanted to put this in my File Smasher deck that I never actually built or played. So like, I do know the card. There's like an elk from the Commander Precons that also kind of does this as well. It's a 2/4. So like, you know, knowing that Triton was going to be in Theros, the Wakes, it all pointed to blue. And then once we started to, like, narrowed it down to an enchantment and a creature, like, it was starting to get there. And once I guessed that, like, the part of drawing a card on everybody's turn, like, then it was like, okay.
Yeah, that was good.
I had a good idea that was that. So
Good job, buddy.
nice. That's a beautiful card, RoboCop. I'm glad that you chose it. I hope more people play with it. It's a lot of fun.
Just so you know, 38,000 EDH rec decks. First printed in Theros, like Theros Beyond Death. And then most decks that play with is Alayla Cunning Conqueror. Is the one that plays this the most.
The new Alayla.
Yeah. So I drew a name, and it is Arch Chaos 15. See,
Nice.
you guys got to enter because we are hitting the same people because they keep entering, which that's smart. They're going to win cards. I'm probably giving away. They're probably like, shut up. Don't tell anybody else to enter. So make sure you guys enter. If the card has already been picked, I will let you know and you can pick a different card. So, all right, gang, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
I
that's a good one.
boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers.
I was like, why are you delaying?
Do you have
so
like a
much?
middle
Boobs,
finger in the
thanks for
background there?
memories.
Yeah.
I
It's,
love
You're
boobs.
so badass.
It's my Gollum and Frodo flicking off the camera.
Oh, that
Pretty
makes
sweet.
sense.
Oh shit! I don't have everything else ready, and I just have that. All right, there we go.
Hey Meat Force, could you kindly tap the like and subscribe button? And if you're ever in the mood, head on over to commandersmiths.com and you can get the shirts and mugs you see on the screen and some other stuff. Thank you.